Cat back again in Emoji Gaming, so I decided to do one more video before I need to go to certain regular weekly places. So basically this was only 27 minutes, but since my iPhone battery is currently charged previously, so I decided to charge while also creating the Animoji, but this time I'm not using the power bank since I basically can use the USB Type-C to the Lightning, which is still available on my other MacBook. So one of the USB port on the MacBook Air is obviously taken because I need to plug in the OTG drive all the time for the video itself. So the video is only 27 minutes, so most likely I will finish it in around 11:30, so I still have 30 minutes gap and not interrupted as well. So basically this is also not a really necessary game, since basically I never really like about this game. It is just a MotoGP game, and it's also quite old games. I think one that was first released on the Nintendo Switch, because the Nintendo Switch is most likely released during this time as well. So that's the reason why the game is already pretty cheap, even though it still technically have quite big size. So maybe because this game was used to be released on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or even PC generation, so that's the reason why it still have around more than 10 gigabytes, I guess. But since I've already tried to find another 512 gigabyte of micro SD, so I don't really think about it, even though it's still technically annoying, since it's definitely wastes certain storage. For some reason that I didn't realize that the nationality can be Indonesia, because Indonesia there is no MotoGP players that basically represent Indonesia, because even though last year Indonesia was basically the first time that I tried to celebrate as the people provide the circuit for the MotoGP event, so that's the reason why I decided to play this game instead, which is already old games, obviously, before even Indonesia think about it most providing the places, perhaps. So that's quite weird, because the first time that we are actually doing is actually modifying players, because maybe this is the career mode that tried to be built on a certain time. I just don't get it, because yeah, basically MotoGP or F1 game is basically kind of like a sport, motorsport game such as NBA or even FIFA, but this one is more racing, and obviously not as racing as other dedicated racing games such as Need for Speed, perhaps. Not sure. And then I tried to do the hardest, and eventually almost impossible to complete, because yeah, it's just so hard. Maybe because basically there are no simulator for the bike unless you're trying to go into some sort of game center, arcade game center, which basically have a simulator for bike, but yeah, it's still definitely not as realistic as car simulator, maybe because yeah, we don't actually feel the because yeah, they try to make the game as real as possible. You know, yeah, definitely they try to use the same engine all the time because every year there have always been another game for this. And I'm not sure whether the next installment of the MotoGP will also include the circuit of Indonesia or not. Because yeah, they definitely need to recreate the circuit and also downloading the real footage that was used to be happen. But of course, there's no open world in Indonesia yet. Even though there are several developers here in Indonesia that try to create open world games. Yeah, it's definitely needs some time and some money to realize it. Because yeah, it's definitely needs many sponsors, perhaps, or support first kind of stakeholders. I'm not sure. So the loading is still pretty low for some
Hello
reason.
and welcome to the Jerez de la Frontera circuit. We are now broadcasting from the starting grid, where everything seems ready. Just a few moments to go until the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. These riders know it will be vitally important to take the first curve perfect.
So at first it seems to be not that hard, but at the time that I tried to turn, it's just getting faster. It seems to be so perfect on turning. Yeah, I just don't get it. Basically, in the race game that I tried to play last time was actually in the Grand Theft Auto Online, which is not really realistic, obviously, because they tried to put the circuit in the city, which is not a native place on the Los Angeles or the Los Santos. So that's the reason why it's pretty weird to have those kind of things. It's making the game feel like Hot Wheels rather than GP or F1 games or any other circuit dedicated racing game. So yeah, I even live far away from the other people, and I thought I can basically change the difficulty right in the options pause menu, but it turns out I need to finish this race first. So and they're still not halfway of the video. There's still so many minutes. It's almost still 70 minutes remaining. And basically we are already not heard any kind of sound from the game because yeah, obviously it's because the typical HDMI video capture, it sadly cannot record the loud sound for some reason. Maybe because it's just dedicated to not sure whether movie cannot contains loud sound as well, because yeah, definitely it's still possible to have loud sound during a small sound. So even with the easiest difficulty, I actually almost lose because the first player is just still so good even with the easiest difficulty. So at some point they're trying to make the second players still quite good. So maybe the other players is already finished, but I'm not sure. There are players that can overtake us for more than a lap. So basically it's not that bad, or maybe the circuit is pretty long. So that's the reason why it's definitely not able to overtake unless we are really slow. Just don't get why there's no penalty on crossing on off the circuit. Maybe because it's not beneficial at all as well. And for some reason, I was actually falling from the bike as well, which is definitely reset. So there's no realistic where we can actually lose or even die, perhaps, because yeah, MotoGP is pretty dangerous because it's just very fast and we're not having enough protection, perhaps.
As the stars of this exciting race finish their final lap, let's take advantage of these moments to take a look at the final ranking. It's definitely not the result they were hoping for today, but it's...
So I definitely try to skip this unnecessary stuff because it's definitely make the videos even longer, since we're already halfway of the videos and the remaining is most likely try to reduce into the easiest difficulty and see how I can win the game or not. So yeah, extreme is really seems to be an extreme, even though I cannot be overtaken as well. So let's see what the very easy, it's still 20%, so that's the reason why it still feels quite hard, perhaps. sure whether it is still in the same exact circuit or not. So even though it was told or mentioned as a Rookies Cup for professional rider, but it's still definitely MotoGP because there are lower class than MotoGP, which is the Moto1 or even Moto2, just like any other sports, which is the FIFA, which is there's a Champions League and First League, Second League.
Hello to all the motorcycle fans tuning. We are now moving to the starting grid, where engineers and technicians are ironing out the last few details before the race. Not long to go now until the attack.
And I can finally quite easy the first place, even though in the second place it seems to be struggle or overtake me, and it can actually succeed as well for some reason. And very easy still not enough for me. I just don't get it why it just seems so dark. Because yeah, HDMI video capture is still definitely making the picture dark. So I'm back again in Animoji Gaming, so I just try to finish this remaining 8 minutes of the MotoGP 2018, I guess. So yeah, because I most likely will have something to do in probably 15 minutes, so that's the reason why I most likely cannot do another Animoji Gaming. Besides, the remaining one is actually the Metro Last Light remastered on the Nintendo Switch as well, which took for around 40 minutes, so that's the reason why. And hopefully in this remaining 8 minutes I will not get interrupted either, since yeah, we'll go to God, hopefully with my old friends, high school friends. So yeah, you cannot hear anything about the games because the game's just like completely shut down or muted. For some reason, maybe the bike sound is pretty loud. That's the reason why. But yeah, since this is already the very easy difficulty, I can be in the first positions quite easy, even though the second position it seems to be struggling, trying to overtake me. And then I can overtake it. Man, this is just really annoying. The very easy seems to be still pretty hard, but I can overtake him again in this last lap, perhaps. I'm not sure. Oh no, there's actually one more lap. That's the reason why the video is still for around Man, really wanted to this video is finish immediately, but yeah, I just don't want to waste every seconds. So it is better to be longer than the video. Even though there are several videos that I used to create that didn't have long Animoji because I decided to delete the several portion of the video of the footage because I initially make the wrong Animoji which has the smaller length, so that's the reason why. And it seems to be pretty unnecessary when I try to add the footage again, so yeah, that's the reason why. I think it was the Uncharted video that's already uploaded, obviously. It's pretty unnecessary beginning and ending portion of the video. So it's just complete gameplay. Five minutes remaining. There are weird sounds for some reason, but yeah, it's still not heard any kind of things. Besides, the only thing that I'm actually heard is just the throttling of my MacBook Air while creating Animoji. For some reason, it's still definitely quite heavy, even though it is not as heavy as rendering a video, of course. But yeah, the MacBook Air seems to be struggling. That's the reason why, if I can finally buy a fanless MacBook Air, the M1, it will be pretty cool because I can get very quiet sounds, just like basically using an iPad. But it was PC, even though M1 was basically an ARM-based processor, but yeah, it's still technically. And I can finally finish in the first position, even though I almost
As the stars of this exciting race finish their final lap, let's take advantage of these moments to take a look at the final ranking.
And finally the sound is come back. Maybe because the voice sound is not as loud as motorcycle sounds.
Undoubtedly, it was a perfect day for him. In addition to the victory, his position also earns him 25 priceless championship points.
So that's the reason why I can finally climb up on the tournament points. Because previously I was actually finished last, and then in the second race I can finish in the first place because I definitely reduced the difficulty way down until its lowest position, while previously it was in the highest position. That's the reason why it's really a difference. The result is just so different, and yeah, these 2 minutes seems to be pretty unnecessary because I tried to customize the people, tried to see how many customization that can be made. Yeah, to be honest, there are no modification at all that basically really represent the personalization, because most of it is just some sort of skin. So yeah, there are no unique things that you can do because it's still following what actually happened on the real life. So that's the reason why it's already unlocked from the beginning as well. I guess one of it customization. So it's only 1 minute remaining. definitely not possible because there always be the sponsorship on the racing suit. Yeah, because racing is very expensive to do. Starting from the gasoline itself, which basically, I don't know, 10 times more expensive than regular gasoline perhaps. It's almost like a plain gasoline. But yeah, the racing car still cannot fly with those gasoline. Because it's still definitely a different type of gasoline, because avionics is more like the gas